Hello everyone, welcome to Greenpointe, and we're going to do another one of our how-to videos. Here at Greenpointe we rent a lot of equipment, and so we're going to go through and talk about the Easy 8 drum sander. We're going to talk about a few other machines on some other videos, but thought I'd start out with the drum sander because that's the one most people are afraid of, that have never used one. And so we thought that we would start with the Easy 8. The reason why a drum sander is a great way to go is a lot of machines out there, yeah, they're a lot more forgiving. But the thing is, with a forgiving sander, the reason why it's so forgiving is it's not as effective. It doesn't sand as aggressively. And so it takes much, much, much longer to get your floor done. So still today, with all the technology and everything, drum sander, edger, and a buffer, still the quickest, easiest way to get your floor done. And when you got all your belongings stacked in a separate bedroom or out on the deck or in a garage, you don't want to be out of your house any longer than you have to. So drum sander is the way to go. This is an Easy 8, so it's geared towards the do-it-yourselfer. It's 110 volt. It's got a twist lock plug on it, but it's 110 volt. Comes with a cord that plugs into a regular outlet. It does have dust collection on it. The bag does a pretty good job. It's a cloth bag, so it does a pretty good job of collecting the dust as long as you don't let the bag get too full. Once it gets about half full, then it's time to empty it. If it gets too full, then it starts spitting dust out and it's not as effective. On the switch on the machine, it's a 3-stage switch. So all the way to the right is off, center is on, but you got to click it all the way to the left for it to start. It's just like an ignition on a car. So there's an off, on, but you got to click it all the way to the left for it to start, and then it'll pop automatically back to the center for running. One unique and great thing about this machine is it's got a feathering handle on it. And the feathering handle is important because that's what raises and lowers the drum up and down off the floor. When you turn the machine on, the drum is constantly spinning, and then to activate the drum, you use the feathering lever to bring the drum up and down off the floor. Feathering lever is the exact same on the big commercial machines that the professionals use, so it makes it much easier. There's other machines out there where you tilt and that kind of thing. That's kind of older technology, and they work, but this is so much nicer. So loading the belts is easy too. The drum is an expandable rubber drum, and so the belt is a continuous sleeve. So loading the paper, you just slide it on, even it out, make sure it's centered on the drum, and then when you turn the machine on, spinning of the drum expands those fins out, and that's what holds the sandpaper. So there's nothing to tighten, nothing to adjust. It's slide it on, even it out, and it's ready to go. On when you're ready to sand the floor, our little floor here, we're going to demonstrate on. You basically divide the room in half, and so just like our line is on the floor here, you divide the room up into two halves, and you sand this half of the room, then you spin around, and then you sand the other half of the room. And the reason for that is if you started all the way at the wall, and then it's great sanding forwards because you're sanding most of the room. But what happens when you're sanding backwards, if I'm sanding along with the drum on the floor and I bump into the wall and the machine stops, I just broke the first rule of drum sanding. So, and then if I'm not going to try to do that, and I'm sanding forwards, great, but then I'm going backwards, and then I'm starting to worry about where the wall is changing my sanding speed. And one thing about drum sanding or edging or doing any work on that floor, then you want to do everything very consistent. The more consistent you are at every part of the process, then the more the floor is going to look the same because you did everything the same. So, like I said, the number one main rule of drum sanding is you've got to be moving anytime the drum is on the floor. That's why they call it a feathering lever, because you actually start moving forward before you drop the drum down. Anytime you have to stop, you get that drum up off the floor. So the so by starting in the middle of the room, then I'm keeping a consistent speed. I'm not having to worry about running into the wall, anything else. And then as far as sanding, you always sand with the grain, straight with the grain. The only time you ever vary from that is if you have a floor that's just been installed, brand new, and you wind up with height difference from board to board. And when that happens, then you do have to sand at a slight angle. You never want to go more than a 45-degree angle. And I don't care how long that hallway is, you never sand 90 degrees to the floor. But you can go up to 45 degree, and you have to still go through and sand with the grain with the same grit to get rid of the cross grain scratches you put in there. If there's not a lot of height difference from board to board, then you might get away with 10 or 20 degree angle. But it's good. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get it flat because the wheels are on the machine is going to be just as uneven as the floor itself. So when you sand the floor, you're starting. Generally, you go left to right, and you're starting at that imaginary center line, and you drop the drum down as you're moving forward. Nice, steady, even speed. When you get to the wall, and this is going to be important. This is where most people have the biggest problem with drum sanding. When you get to the wall, you just barely take the tension off the drum. You don't have to lift it all the way up. All you're doing is just lift it up just a little bit because you're going to drop it straight down again and go backwards. So you're sanding forwards and backwards in the same line. Lift it all the way up when you get back to the center. Move over half a drum, which this floor is 2 1/4 inches wide, so just move over 2 boards and do the process again. Feather down, nice steady speed, gentle feather at the wall, drop it back down, and straight back. Get the center line all the way up, over 2 boards, go down, gentle feather, straight back, all the way up, over 2 boards, and so on. So then once I get done with this half of the room, spin around, overlap what I did on the other half. Again, going left to right, and the way I go. Gentle feather, straight back, all the way up, over, and so on. So that's pretty much it. Generally on most floors, whether it's brand new or refinishes, then your grits are going to be 40, 60, and 100. You got to sand with 40 grit. It's aggressive enough to get rid of through the old finish and gunk. If it's a brand new floor, you got to get it flush. You know, got the high boards down the low boards, so you got to get fairly aggressive to do that. When you get into doing wood filler, then you would drum sand first with 40 grit, edge with 40 grit, wood fill, drum sand with 60, edge with 60, spot fill if needed, and then do your 100. And on 100 grit, generally you edge first and then drum sand last. The reason for drum sanding first, especially on your first pass with the 40 grit, then if you edge first, then most people wind up edging not enough or way too much. If you drum sand first, then you know exactly how much edging you have to do. Because once we get into the edger and talk about that, and you get the joy of using an edger, you don't want to have to use that thing more than you have to. So with that, if you like this video, make sure and let us know. And also, if you have any questions, here at Greenpointe, we're happy to answer those questions. We're here ready to rent you equipment and answer any questions. So thank you very much, and stay tuned for our next video.